And that's okay to start with, and then start bringing all the young ones in, and they just went deteriorated.
Well, that was beautiful when we moved into them.
I think everybody says the same, weren't they? You know.
Yeah.
Oh, the way they ruined
When they
them.
took the families out of them, they went downhill.
That's right, they moved all the young ones in, didn't they? All the drug addicts, prostitutes, and everyone.
Yeah.
To fill them up, like, you know. It is also killed them, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lovely estate, wasn't it? It was a lovely estate at one time.
Saying that, we've never had no trouble.
No, I know. I mean, my children grew up here. When Tracy and Neil and Mark all grew up here, didn't they? You know.
Televisions, wardrobes.
Oh, that's right as well. About suicides.
Oh yeah, 3 or 4 suicides.
That's suicides that come into it, didn't they?
I'm Robert Enon. I'm the contract manager here for the housing department at Halesowen. I've been working along with about a team of 60 people from the housing department this morning. We've had 4 evacuation teams on site and 3 checkpoints. The operation so far has gone very smoothly. We're just reconciling that everyone has left site so that demolition can hopefully go ahead at midday as planned. The operation itself has been ongoing really now for the past 18 months, where we started evacuating tenants from Byron and Kipling House, and this really is the culmination of all the efforts of all the staff that have worked very hard and well together, and we hope the end of a successful operation at the end of the day.
Good morning. You have good. You go on through. If you want to catch a seat, you go straight in and turn left. You'll find the door. Oh, that's it.
I'm John, and I live at 1 Avon Road.
I'm Peter Richards, and I live next door to number 2.
Okay.
Better off inside having a copper. Best place to order. Edit that bit, please.
Don't. I swear, it's never when it comes out anyway.
I know you will. You get a proper little stir, right?
What do you think of what's happening today then?
Well, I think it's good. Definitely good for our estate anyway.
Personally speaking, I don't think they should have been built in the first place. I don't like high-rise flats.
Well, I wasn't born when they were built, but I lived in there when I was probably 3 or 4 years old, when we moved to the house where we are now.
Unfortunately, used to live in them just after they were built, up on the 80th floor.
Yeah, we was on the 7th.
No, I've got to admit it though, it was very pleasant living in there. No matter where you went, you could sort of eat your meals off the floor. Because you were handpicked to go in there, then unfortunately they started letting anybody in.
So, have you got a sort of feeling of sorrow seeing that it was once a home? Is it a feeling of sorrow, do you think?
Not for me, no.
Yeah, bit of sorrow, bit of happiness. Part of my life going.
What sort of problems have the flats given you lately before they...
Parties, loud music, drugs, drink, liquor. Where we live at the moment, you can see straight into their flat door. Anything from the odd cigarette packet to soiled nappies used to come out.
Yeah, out the window. Furniture sometimes.
Furniture, televisions, cookers. bridges,
You know,
bits of motorbikes.
old motorbikes.
Yeah, going back to the speedway now.
Okay. And what do you think of the council's arrangements, the organisation they've done to knock it down?
At the moment, can't walk it.
He's doing very smoothly.
I know last week they used the eagle as a practice, but one of those things.
My name is Jenny Davis, it's my husband Nick, and we live in Tanhouse.
Okay. Are you happy to see these flats come down?
Yes, yeah, definitely. Although we've never had any trouble from them, it could be obviously different view. It could be much better, and I'm sure we'd put value on the house.
Dual role here today. We're manning the marquee for people who've been evacuated and got nowhere to take their pets. As you can see, we've got some cats and dogs. I'm expecting some more during the course of the day. And we'll be doing that until people are allowed back into the evacuation zone. And also, of course, if there's anything seen straying, actually sort of going into the exclusion zone before the blast, then we'll go in and get it out again. So we did the same thing at Eve Hill last week. We perhaps weren't as busy at Eve Hill. We didn't have so many animals brought to us. In fact, the only casualty at Eve Hill was a dove that got flown out of a tree, which we had to look after for a while and release later. There was a particular problem with Tanhouse Estate in that there was a large number of horses that were actually in fields opposite Kipling, by the side of Kipling House, which we had to trace the owner and make arrangements for them to be moved. Even if they weren't in danger of being hit by anything, they certainly would have panicked at the top of the blast, so they've had to be moved off to go.
Okay. And was that a problem at all, or?
The only problem was actually tracing who they belonged to. Once we actually found out who they belonged to, then that was okay after that.
So the owner wasn't aware of the fact that it was going to happen?
He knew it was going to happen, but he didn't know when, and he hadn't really been making any plans of his own, so we had to sort of gee him along a bit.
Well, it's 10:15 here on Sunday the 25th. We've got an hour and 3/4 to go to blowdown. All of our very many months of planning is starting to come to fruition, and all being well, we're all set for a successful operation. I've just been talking to Charles Moran, who's the Managing Director of Controlled Demolition Group, and he's busy inspecting his charges inside some of the blocks. He tells me everything's okay, and he's on programme. And I also understand we've now got the whole of the zone evacuated, so that we're apparently ready in good time. Everything's going according to plan, and we'll hope for a successful blowdown.
We've got quite a number of groups on standby today. We've got 4 clerks of works from the council who are doing property inspections together with a structural engineer from an external consultancy, and they're going around all the properties to check the condition of properties before and after the blowdown. We've also got 4 road sweepers on standby to sweep the roads with us once the blowdown has taken place. We've got statutory services on standby from the MEB, Transco and South West Water, just in case there are any problems that we find after the blowdown. And we've also got the RSPCA on standby just in case we have any stray animals in the exclusion zone just before the blowdown. And also we've got the Assistant Divisional Fire Officer who's going to be based here just in case there are any problems after the blowdown.
I think one of the most impressive things about the demolition of these flats, and we're standing here just before the button's pushed, is the tremendous amount of planning that has gone in. It's almost as awe-inspiring as the demolition itself. Even down to looking after goldfish in ponds, every possible outcome, even if it's undesirable, dealt with, how we respond to it. I think it really is a credit to the housing department and the contractors that so much work has gone into this, and hopefully it'll be a very successful event.
I'm Mandy. I used to live in Byron House on the 12th floor. I lived there for a few years. They moved me up to Chaucer when they decided to demolish the place. I've got to admit, it'll be sad to see the place go today because I shall miss it. I've had some good memories down there. So we've had some fun and some good times down there, the estate office would tell you.
Jeff Fitzpatrick, I'm living Wordsworth House. I'm chair of the Estate Management Association. And I mean, the thing with Tanhouse, I mean, it's absolutely unique in the borough. It's the only estate in the borough that has control over its own budget. And we work very closely with housing. And as I say, what's happening today is only really part of an ongoing process. You're going to find in about 15 months' time that it's going to be a nice estate. And, it's been hard work changing people's attitudes because the perception of the estate has been one of a troubled estate. The perception has very largely been overplayed. In many ways it's no different to many estates that have got high-rise flats. But yes, it's going to be good. We're looking forward to the next 15 months.
Well, in about an hour and 5 minutes' time, hopefully we're going to blow down 2 blocks of high-rise flats. The blocks are something like 152 flats in each block. Kipling House and Byron House, built in about 1964. High-rise concrete, built by Wimpey's, I believe. And hopefully in about, from the time the explosives go off, they should be on the floor in about 2 seconds. But we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Tell me a little bit about the background to the decision to blow them down.
Well, these blocks have been unpopular for some time, and we had to make a very difficult decision because basically they had some structural problems. They needed quite a lot of work doing on the external beams. The concrete was spalling off, and they also needed new windows and quite a bit of other work. We made a very difficult decision with the estate management board and decided that the best thing to do would be to knock them down. Well, with a number of new houses to be built, we've actually come to an arrangement with a housing association and a local developer. I think it's something like 75, 80 properties due to be built on the site. Some of them will be for sale and some of them will be for rent. Social housing, low rents and so on, and the estate management board have had a lot of ideas as to exactly what they want. They don't want any flats, they want family houses and some bungalows, so that's what we're doing. And I understand they're having a duck pond as well.
I think you've got to have mixed feelings because after all these were people's homes. But certainly in recent years the popularity of this particular type of accommodation has declined markedly, particularly both at Eve Hill and at Tanhouse, which is associated not perhaps so much with the housing problems but the social problems that have come with a relative decline in that type of accommodation.
Have there been any sort of structural problems that have led to the decision to...
I don't think there are major structural problems. It is, as I say, more... it would have cost us quite considerable money. We would have had to have spent an awful lot of money, and I don't think we would have achieved the level of satisfaction that the tenants would be looking for, or future tenants would have been looking for, in the kind of property that we do, after all, want to move forward and provide a better quality of accommodation rather than something that is just about good enough. I think it's important that we move for a higher quality, not simply something that will just be adequate, as it were.
Now, I believe Tanhouse is special, if not unique, in having a management committee that's got an input into this. It is. In fact,
within our borough, it is the only area that is fully managed by the tenants, with obviously the support from the local authority. And it's extremely encouraging because for many years the estate has been, as it were, stigmatised, probably unfairly, because like any estate, the vast majority of the residents are excellent citizens who want to play their part, who want to get on with their lives. And it's great to see them actually saying, right, enough is enough, we're going to take things on board, and I'm glad that my predecessors have said yes. You know, we're more than willing to undertake that, to allow you to run and make the decisions that affect your accommodation, your daily lives, and it's excellent to see them up and running and making what I must add is a very good success of an area that had become, as I say, stigmatised over the years. Yeah.
Dudley has some very good high-rise blocks, very popular places where you and I and everybody else would be quite content to live. Unfortunately, these flats are of a poor design. Mass concrete, very little, in fact no natural lighting coming into the communal areas, simply just too large, and inherently they became unpopular, and once they become unpopular, the problems then begin to occur. So we had all the problems that you associate with difficult to let properties.
Are you looking forward to seeing them actually come down?
Very much with mixed feelings, because my job as Chief Housing Officer was actually to provide homes, and I'm probably one of the few people left who can remember slum clearance. And although people eulogise back-to-backs and things like that, I actually saw them and saw the terrible conditions that people lived. And I know the euphoria when these type of flats were first built, and how the people looked forward to going into them. So they provided homes at a time when they were really needed. That's one side of me, so I'm sad about that. On the other hand, I'm quite pleased because I recognise that they are not very satisfactory living today, particularly for children, or for most people really. So in that way I'm pleased that they will be demolished and replaced with housing that people want, hopefully with gardens and places to park the car where people can really form a community and enjoy their new homes.
Obviously we saw Eve Hill go down.
Yes, that was very exciting. I think everybody who was there thought it was very dramatic. It's something that any filmmaker could use, and certainly was very successful, with only 2 cracked window frames at a nearby house. So it was remarkably well controlled and exciting. I'm sure all the local population will be out watching the demolition of these flats.
What is it you're doing here today?
Blowing the flats up.
How long have you lived on the estate?
Since it opened, over 24 years. When I went up first, they were beautiful places. Really are beautiful places. But they went downhill. They went all the cock. Plus the fact that the 2 blocks, they're almost opposite each other. The 1 block tends to divert the wind around the other, so that the wind down the path at the back blows like hell. Frequently I've got a job to stand in it. So it's a good thing to be with it for that.
With just a few minutes to go, a lady is taken ill with a suspected heart attack. The countdown to the blowdown is halted, and a paramedic is sent to the scene to assess the situation. The density of people and parked cars makes it impossible to get an ambulance or even a motorbike through to the casualty. So the police helicopter rendezvous with an ambulance, picks up a paramedic and lands at a field near to the scene. The paramedic, after reaching the casualty, radios back to say that she is not suffering a heart attack and is in no immediate danger. The countdown is restarted after approximately a 40-minute delay.
Fire. When it says fire, that's when you press the button. Not on one, on fire. No worries. Only about a minute or so now. That's it. On fire, yeah? 10, 9, 8, 7.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fire.
Fire now.
Well done. Super job. What you've done. Look at that mess. Put your mask on.
So they're all rushing where they're all want to go. Sorry, yeah, I got that wrong.
Well, as you can see from the pile behind me, it's all gone well. There was a slight delay due to the casualty not involved with the demolition, but it all went about half an hour behind time. The buildings came down well, there's been no damage. We're into the sweeping up operation now, which will probably take about another 30 minutes, meaning the residents can go back into the properties about 1:45, followed closely by the general public. So a job well done from the evacuation, through the council, through the clients, through the demolition contractors and the residents.
There was a small delay. A lady outside the exclusion zone had some kind of medical problem, so we delayed the job until that had been dealt with. Generally, it went well, and there was a lot of improvements on Eve Hill. Things were learnt up there certainly by the council, and the performance today was outstanding. I'm very pleased with it. No damage and nobody upset, nobody injured. A good result.
Obviously the block looks a little bit close today.
Very close. Very close.
Were you worried?
Apprehensive.
You recently moved in, I believe?
Yes, so about 4 months ago.
When you bought the house, was there any concerns at all? Or?
Not just such, no.
You've obviously got a lot of confidence in these people.
We had, yeah.
Did they give you much support and?
Yes, a lot of reassurance, yes.
You did dash in there and have a look though, I think.
Yeah. I've got baby chipmunks out the back and I wanted to make sure they were okay.
Alright. And they are they?
At back.
Didn't want to take them up to the RSPCA centre at all?
It's too dangerous to move them while they're having babies, so that's why we're but they're fine.
Babies as well?